what time it is. Strikeout Beer knows what time it is. Everyone knows what time it is. It is time for On and Off the Field with Durf and Dullen. How you doing tonight, Durf?
Oh, not too bad. Hanging in there. It's Tuesday. Best day of the week.
Best day of the week?
Yeah.
Just because you get to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel kind of special because I'm a part of it. In honor of Strikeout Beer, I'm actually cracking what he said is his favorite victory beer, which is No Brainer. Oh boy,
Ooh.
with the blue screen with every time with this. I'm doing this for Strikeout just because of the conversation we had the other day. Mm-hmm. That'll be our drink of choice tonight. You got anything going on over there? Or are you just chilling?
No, I'm just chilling.
You're just chilling. Yeah, that makes sense. Never forget to hydrate, everybody. Eat, skirt. Richard in the house. It's Tuesday. Yeet. All right. We got Bridget ready to go. Special guest tonight, Bridget Case. She does sports anchor stuff. She does sports journalist stuff. She's the host of Turbo Talk and After Orange Slices podcast. She's a retired NFL cheerleader. We're so excited to have her on. I think I hit everything. She'll pump herself up. We'll give her all the time she needs to pump herself up. We probably didn't do her justice. So real quick, we have to make sure everyone out there is flossing. I already see a couple of reactions in the corner. I think people already shared it out. You guys are amazing. So make sure we're all flossing out there. Follow, like, observe, share, and subscribe. Everything on and off the field related. Durf, hit them with the facts.
All right. Well, you can follow, like, observe, and share on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as subscribe to our YouTube and our Twitch channels, which we are currently live on, all by searching at OOTF Podcast. Make sure to click the link in the video description to get all the other links. Also, make sure to follow Notoriety Sports Network on all social media platforms. This is the next greatest sports hub in America. We have NSN Philly, NSN Indiana, NSN Florida, and the mothership NSN. Make sure to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so that we know how we're doing and what you like or dislike about this award-winning show.
I'm kind of curious if we gotten any new reviews. I haven't checked in a while.
No.
Nah, haven't checked. That's okay, though. We're doing our best, and that's all that matters. If people don't like it, that's fine. All righty. Beer in the chat. Let's get this show on the road. Let's bring in our special guest. Whoa. No. I got to click a bunch of buttons at the same time. It gets really awkward. Bridget.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you doing this evening?
I'm okay. Actually, to be honest, I just took like a 15-minute nap. So it was very nice and I really needed it. But I mean, that's kind of, I guess, one of the perks of working from home. I didn't realize this is live visually. So I'm so sorry. I literally look like I just woke up.
Well, you are, if you look like you just woke up, we look like this every week, unfortunately. So you're completely fine. You're bringing this show up.
Thanks.
It's great. We appreciate it. Unfortunately, we have to go up. We could shower and do whatever we want beforehand. It's not going to help. So
I get it.
People just got to deal with it. So we kind of mentioned some of all the stuff you do. You're a very, very busy person from what I can see on the list of jobs, I should say, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'll let you give your.
That's why I took a nap.
Yeah. Especially this time of year, it's getting crazy right now.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. And Tuesdays, this is a good day because it's kind of like my catch-up day. So finally get to just like breathe a little, but I'm definitely behind as far as moves on free agency and everything. So I'm going to have to definitely use tonight to kind of catch up on all of the breaking news from the day because it's just been crazy, but tomorrow's about to get even crazier. So
Patriots.
Yeah.
That's all you do. That's it. That's all.
Totally. Exactly. I mean, I don't know who can spend money that quickly, but
apparently them, because they haven't been spending it in the past. So they just decided this was the year. They took that stimulus check and just kind of pumped it into free agents.
It's the year. Absolutely.
Jeez. So I want to give you the platform here real quick. Let everyone know whatever you want to tell them. You can tell them podcast stuff, whatever you want people to know. They have to go follow whatever you want. Let them know it.
Cool. Well, you can follow me wherever. I'm kind of in the middle of trying to get all of my platforms on the same names. That's a little bit difficult when I have to tell people 500 different places. But, if you're an Instagram person, you can follow me on Instagram at Orange Slices, and that's the name of my podcast, which is on a break right now, but is coming back next month, I believe. And then, so that's my Instagram, but I'm Luna, quiet. I'm sorry. I have dogs in here that knock it off. And then TikTok is where I'm like most active. So it's just Bridget Case on TikTok. Same with Twitch. I live stream there now. I'm new to Twitch, but I'm new to my individual Twitch. And so, yeah, that's just Bridget Case as well. So mostly if you just search my name, you can find me pretty much wherever there's like an online presence. Let's just make that easy.
Perfect. Name and after Orange Slices. Easy peasy.
Definitely.
So I'm curious about the podcast. You said it's on a little bit of a break, but I love the name of it.
Thank you.
Because retired NFL cheerleader, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to make sure I get it right. Should we go by Los Angeles Chargers or San Diego Chargers when you're with a team? I want to make sure we get it correct.
I was with the San Diego Chargers, but obviously, everything's different now. So I don't care, whatever you want to say.
So with the San Diego Chargers, retired NFL cheerleader, and does that kind of come where the After Orange Slices comes from, or do you just think it was a cool name and just ran with it?
Part of it, I would just say it kind of was something I think that resonated with a lot of people, anyone who felt like sports really shaped their lives, especially as kids. Because like I always think after a game, after a practice, competition, whatever, there's always like a team mom with snacks, and often that would be Orange Slices. So it's kind of that after the game thought of, okay, like what happens next? So a lot of what I initially had talked about with my guests was life after sports, the challenges off the field. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't have dogs, but cats like to jump up here sometimes.
I also have a cat, but he hides on the other side of the house during this time of day. So, but the cleaners were here, and so the doors have been shut. So they're just mad at me that like I haven't let them. But they are so spoiled, so they have nothing to do.
Mom, let me out.
Exactly. I'm like, they have toys in here and literally like treats everywhere. So
they'll be fine.
They're fine. So they're just being babies. But yeah, so it initially kind of started as a place for people to share their stories off the field, off the court, like that life after sports journey. But then as it grew, it developed into something so much more where people in all different realms of the world and, whether they're entrepreneurs, mental health advocates, things that I'm passionate about. That's kind of like where it started to go. And that's kind of why I wanted to work on restructuring some things so that I could best serve my audience, because I saw that was like really the big need and where I started to become a leader in that area. And I mean, the podcast really started, my first podcast really started by accident, just because I was in between jobs and I was just kind of like, well, I had to move back with my parents. I was really depressed. And, I had finished up my last contract at CBS in Washington as a sports anchor, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I just started a podcast, and then it kind of just everything spiraled from there. And I started getting better interviews than I even did while I was live on TV every night. And it's been unbelievable. I mean, I just keep telling everyone, take chances. Don't listen to what anybody says, because seriously, like the future is in our computers, our phones, all our tech devices. Nobody's watching local news anymore. And trust me, I know that because, I was on the news every night and I didn't even have cable. So it's just like, I think that's just something that I always try and remind people of is, don't discredit people doing something different and new that you might not understand. Because truly that's the future of media. And I really think the future of sports. So Luna, come here.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of just did this for fun. That's why we're doing podcasting. Yeah. I mean, Fred joined me earlier, about a year ago, he joined me. Mm-hmm. I was doing for a couple months before then. And yeah, we just finally been hanging out. We've been getting a lot of good guests this year. 2021's been a great time. It's just a fun thing to do on Tuesdays.
Totally. But, I mean, I don't know how many people I've heard say 2021 and great time in the same sentence, but you know what?
For
I'll
us,
take
for at
it.
least Tuesdays during 2021 has been good. Everything outside of that, that's a different conversation.
Absolutely, I agree.
So, I mean, you said that you wanted to get caught up on NFL free agency. We got all of the scoop on that. We can talk about whatever you haven't caught up on, stuff that you have caught up on. We'll see if we'll try and touch on some topics and see if you know anything or have an opinion on anything. Obviously, we said the word Patriots already.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'm totally fine. I mean, everyone literally was asking me yesterday what I thought about Hunter Henry, and I really had a feeling that he would go there, even though. Like there was a huge possibility of the Chargers keeping him, but it's, not surprising. And honestly, the Chargers have had so many issues injury wise at so many positions and especially tight end. So I'm like kind of pumped to just start fresh and all that. And, but really also like, it was funny when I can't remember when that notification came in about Tyrod Taylor going to Houston and, God, I just feel so bad for this guy. Like, I just hope he gets a shot somewhere to play before, things go haywire. So, but I definitely need to catch up on everything. But the Patriots have been spending money like crazy, making so many signings so quickly. So,
yeah, is there something about a Chargers team doctor just going around stabbing people in lungs?
I know.
Is that what I'm thinking correctly?
Yeah.
Gee,
So
I wonder why there's so many injuries over there.
I know. Exactly. Now it came out this year. Exactly. Like finally you realize, oh, that's the guy who's been doing this the whole time.
Well, it's just the Patriots are on the path basically to spend the most money in free agency, and technically things haven't even started. But the new league year starts tomorrow at 4, and they've already spent almost more money than anyone else in free agency history. The real interesting part of this is the other 5 teams that have spent the most money in free agency. I got it right here. 2020 Dolphins, they spent $147 million, missed the playoffs the next season. 2019 Jets, $131.4 million. Missed the playoffs. 2016 Giants, $107 million, lost in the wild card round. 2018 Bears, $102 million, lost in the wild card round. 2018 Jets, $100.5 million spent in free agency, missed the playoffs. So just because you spend money and get a lot of really fun players does not directly result in a playoff spot.
Definitely. I 100% agree with that. I will say, though, that I really thought the Dolphins were going to edge themselves into the playoffs this year. And Brian Flores looked really good as a coach. So, that was like a completely different situation down there. And you've got a guy that's not had, years and years of experience and years of winning Super Bowls. So I think like the situation in New England, like we're all going to be blindsided suddenly next year. It's going to, what was that year? Was it 2017? I can't remember, where the Patriots kind of started off to a rocky start. I think it was 2017, right? And everyone was kind of like, is, Brady and Belichick done? Is this it? And then, they go to the Super Bowl. So, I never like, you just can never predict what's going on over there because it's always, they just prove you wrong no matter what, in the sense that I thought actually that Cam Newton would have a great year last year, not like amazing, but so proved wrong that way. But again, I will say, like, I still think he's a great quarterback. And I think people discredit, they forget about, the fact that he is so mobile still, even though he's been in the league for, kind of a while now. And so he can run, and so he was like the last signed quarterback last season. I'm pretty sure he was like the latest signing. So, he had to learn the playbook way later. And obviously with COVID and Zoom meetings and all that crap, this was a weird year. And I think it's going to be the same with the draft. It's going to be a really weird year. And I think we're going to see a bunch of busts. And I think we're going to see a lot of definitely some great like sneaker free agency signings. Definitely. But yeah, I think this year in general is just going to be weird. And I agree with you. Usually like it doesn't always necessarily correlate, but in the Patriots case, I don't know. I kind of have this feeling that it will.
There's a little bit of a difference when you're talking about the Dolphins, Jets, Giants, and Bears, and then the Patriots. There's definitely a difference there in success in the past. TJ says Cam is overrated. It's hard to disagree, but it's a touchy subject. But I do have strong feelings about what's happening with what people are saying about the Patriots across the NFL fandom. I want to make sure Durf gets his say in here. I mean, as our resident Bills fan, how are you feeling about your division rivals right now?
A little annoyed. I mean, I'm a little annoyed that they're spending all this money, and there are a couple players that I saw them kind of pick up. Was I was hoping the Bills were going to kind of address that position in free agency, and there's still time. But the top players went to the Patriots, so it's a little annoying there. But at the same time, it also kind of proves that maybe Bill Belichick has realized that the division is slipping from his grasp, especially starting last year with how the Bills played. It seems almost like a little bit of overcompensation, trying to get the talent there. And, every team tries to get their talent there, get that talent on the team. But I don't know. For me, it's just kind of like, really, they couldn't all go somewhere else. Let the Bills have their time. But hopefully that leads to some, great divisional games this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Are you looking forward to it?
For the Bills to prove that all that talent going to the Patriots was a joke.
Oh, okay. So you're ready to disprove it.
Yeah.
So my major issue with the Patriots, not really the Patriots, it's everyone else surrounding the Patriots. You know how there's always this crowd out here that loves to say wins are not a quarterback stat, because that's what you see across ESPN, NFL Network, all these places. They love to bring up wins. Russell Wilson, all he does is win games. All this, Tom Brady just wins games, win. And then people will say, they'll respond, which makes sense, wins aren't a quarterback stat. True. Those same exact people today, with all these Patriots free agent signings, their motto these past 2 days have been, well, none of this matters because they still have Cam Newton as their quarterback. Well, wait a minute. If it doesn't matter, if the quarterback's not the only part of the win, it's a team sport, then these signings are going to make a huge difference, right? Mm-hmm. Even if Cam Newton has another down year, or at least equal to last year, with all these added weapons on offense, and let's include defense as well. I have the Patriots up here with defense. Dietrich Wise is coming back defensive end. Mm-hmm. They brought over Davin. Oh boy, how to say his name? Defensive tackle from Miami.
Godcho, yeah.
Godcho,
yeah.
That's better than anything I would have said. That's for sure. Defensive lineman Henry Anderson. Matthew Judon's coming over from the Ravens.
I think Jalen Mills,
safety from the Eagles. Justin Bethel from the 49ers, I believe, corner. They've just added pieces everywhere. Mm-hmm. You cannot just say, well, the Cam Newton's their quarterback still, so there's absolutely no way they're going to even have a winning record. That's not how this works.
Right. Well, and especially when you have such a successful coach like Bill Belichick, I don't even know necessarily if Cam will play the whole season. I could totally see them going and getting a quarterback in the draft, whether it's somebody like Mac Jones or Trey Lance, or somehow, God knows, they trade up and get somebody like Justin Fields. I don't know. I think it honestly doesn't really matter right now who they have at quarterback. It's just a matter of getting this system running and getting people used to a new culture of a Patriots legacy, if that makes sense. Because he's very, plug and play. That system has worked for so long with so many people in and out. Yeah, Brady was a staple for a very long time, but think how long he was there and think how many pieces changed.
And I kind of like what Fred was saying, touched on a little bit. They had Brady compensating for them for so long, and they weren't spending money. They spent, I believe it was $45 million on guaranteed money to pass 3 seasons on offense. I mean, unheard of numbers, but Brady was carrying him through that poor spending.
Right.
And now here we are, no Brady. They saw that they had no talent. And okay. So this is what teams have to do when they don't have Brady. This is what they do. They have to go and spend money. So here we are. I don't even know how much they spent up at this point, but we're finally seeing the repercussions of not spending money during the Brady era. Probably why he's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. Now we understand his frustrations with the Patriots organization.
Well, definitely that. But I think there was, rifts very early on, not early, but years down the line with Belichick that were very clear. And I think with Brady not being able to be in control the way he wanted, it was obviously just like time for them to move on together. They're separate ways. But I think that think about it. I'm not saying anyone they've signed right now is going to go and be the next Tom Brady. I'm not saying that, but I will say nobody, thought he would do really much coming out of Michigan. And he suddenly kicks out Drew Bledsoe and then becomes one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, or the best quarterback. So I don't know. Again, I just feel like I'm going to get it wrong no matter what I say about the Patriots, and they're going to surprise me, good or bad. So I try and be careful. Yeah.
They'll have a better season than last season. No, wait, I want to rephrase that. They're gonna. You got to be careful with them. You never know.
I think they'll have a better season than last season. I do believe that.
All right, we'll write that down. We'll come back to you at the end of the season.
All right.
They went to Super Bowl. You were right. All right, there we go.
I do actually. Bills are probably my top AFC team right now. So I will say I think the Bills still have a better chance of winning the division and going to a Super Bowl than the Patriots, clearly. So don't worry.
There you go. There you go. You got your sponsorship for the Bills right there. What about the Seahawks? What do you think? You got? Give me your honest opinion. You don't have to care about my feelings. It's okay.
No, it's not your feelings. It's that my Russell Wilson sources, everything has been very back and forth in just the last couple of days. Last information that I got yesterday or the day before, that it was about a 50-50 shot of, Russell leaving or not. And I think, Luna, come here. I think when I woke up today or whatever, I saw something on my phone, the push for the Bears and that Seattle's is not responding and not even, reacting. And that's kind of what I had assumed, is that it's Seattle's move next. So many people are so concerned with what Russell wants to do. And really the people in control right now are Seattle, So I think he might be there a little bit longer than we anticipated once all of this trade chaos started happening. But I don't know. So as of today, I'm well, maybe he will stay. So I really don't know, but I think it is a little bit scary with all of the, every team in the NFC West, except for Seattle, has a crazy defense right now. So there's no way that Seattle's going to get away with not protecting their quarterback, especially for how much noise he's made about that issue, being the most sacked quarterback in the league. I think it will be interesting to see how they respond, because it's not even funny. I think the NFC West could be the most dangerous division next year, especially I don't know what San Francisco is going to do with their quarterback situation. But right now I see Seattle as kind of at the bottom of the division, unless they get it together and get a strong D line and protection for Russ. But if he stays, we'll see.
Seahawks need so much.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to prioritize.
It's a mess. Yeah, you can't even prioritize things because they need everything at this point. They're on the verge of a rebuild. If Russell Wilson left,
absolutely.
It's a rebuild. 100%. Mm-hmm. Man. It doesn't even hurt my feelings. I went through the Charlie Whitehurst. I went through that whole post Matt Hasselbeck era. I had to experience this, so I know what losing is. I'm fine with it. If Russ leaves, I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. I'm just waiting for the day it happens, whether it's sooner or later. TJ comes in, our good buddy, says Pats are going to be getting Mac Jones or Mond. That'd be interesting. I think this is one of the more unpredictable drafts we've had in a while, because there are so many quarterbacks and so many teams in need of quarterbacks. There could be people moving up, moving down. We're not sure if Justin Fields doesn't go early or late. Trevor Lawrence, some people are saying, might not even be the number one. We don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be insanity.
I think that is the one thing that will stay solid. I really do believe Trevor Lawrence will go to Jacksonville. But I think the rest of it truly is just going to be, it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be a total wild card. And I think we'll see a lot of undrafted free agents all of a sudden come out of the woodwork spectacular because maybe they didn't play this season. Maybe they went to a smaller school that played a spring season, so they opted out. I just feel like they'll be, or didn't have a pro day, whatever, without having a traditional combine. Like, I just think, I'm not trying to say this draft doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying, but I kind of am saying that. Some
of the details are murky. Well,
yeah.
You're basically trying to pick players from 2 seasons ago.
Right.
Because this past season, you can take Justin Fields, you can take a couple people from Ohio State, but what are you really basing that off of? Same with Michigan. Well, Michigan's kind of, well, we won't go there. I don't know if there's any Michigan fans going to listen to this, but we'll try to avoid that conversation. We just want to throw this in there because he's kind of like a sponsor for the show. Not really, but we love him. Fitzmagic just got done signing another 1-year deal with his 9th team for up to $12 million, the Washington football team. He's the leading candidate to start the job. What else do they got? Tyler Heineke. So Fitzmagic's going to be the starter. And this is a real possibility to run it back as NFC East champs, which would be the first time there's back-to-back NFC champs since 2004. Is there a real possibility that they could finally end that drought?
There is. That whole division is still a mess. I don't even know how to start going there. I feel like I know so many NFC East fans right now too, who are just all in so much pain. And it's definitely possible. I think my biggest surprise was I just thought that when they got rid of Alex Smith, I thought that they were going to go and get someone much younger, or they were going to focus on drafting a star. I don't know. And so it was a little bit of a surprising signing. I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is a very underrated quarterback. And I think, he has a brilliant mind. He's so cerebral, and I'm excited to watch him play there. And I think kind of that culture and spontaneity that he brings will be really, really good for a team that's been through a lot of, scandals recently too. So it is an interesting fit, but weirdly, I think it does kind of work. And right now they seem like the most kind of solid team in the NFC East.
Riverboat Ron doing what he does best.
Like,
he's brought stability to one of the most unstable franchises in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again, I kind of thought it was interesting because I thought they would go with somebody, for more long term. And, I guess not.
They might still have plans. We'll see. But yeah, at least for 2021, that's what we got. Last week's guest is popping in. Lois Cook. She's popping in. Hello, go Washington football team. Go DC Divas. Throw that in there for. And then Ryan Francis, favorite sports info show. You came to the wrong place for right place. Came to the right place, bud. Durf, Washington football team. Little concerned about the Cowboys, maybe. They signed Dak long term, but who do you guys your favorites at least? You liking the Fitzpatrick?
I like Fitzpatrick there. Fitzpatrick has, time and time again shown that he is like the ultimate bridge quarterback. He can, he is very underrated. He comes in, he can get the job done. Longevity, we've just, with one team, we've seen that before where he, people can figure him out in a certain system and, he starts to struggle. But, it's still Fitzmagic time. Like, he can still bring it on when he needs to, which is great to see. And I think just going to Washington, I think that's a really good, chemistry builder there between Fitzpatrick and Ron Rivera. But, so they have Fitzpatrick, they have Taylor Heineke. They very well could be getting a quarterback in the draft, because we could see the same situation that we saw with the Dolphins. Bring in a rookie, have Fitzpatrick there to, help steer that rookie in the right direction. And then, they still are very invested in Taylor Heineke, but then I think they definitely they still need to be looking towards the future. Taylor Heineke had a great wild card game. He did as much as he could against the Bucs defense. The Bucs defense is just outstanding. So I really like it. I think it's a good fit. I think it's a good combination of different quarterback talents on that team. And I still think that they're I think they're still looking for a quarterback in the draft. It'll depend on what round they decide to pull that trigger.
Yeah, because there are quarterbacks outside of the first round and the second round. Contrary to popular belief, there's more than just the top 6 quarterbacks in the draft. What Tom Brady came out of the 6th round? I mean, there's other ones out there.
Yeah, pick number 199. Yep.
199. I can never get that picture out of my head of him just sitting there in his drawers and just.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing. I guess we can stay in the NFC East for a minute and go to the Cowboys. Is Dak overrated, and is he right for the Cowboys?
I wouldn't say, I don't know if he's necessarily right for the Cowboys, but I don't think he's overrated. I do think he's a great quarterback. I feel horrible for what happened to him this season. What I think is so unpredictable is, how's his health going to be? How's his comeback going to be next year? And right now, I mean, the Cowboys really have no excuse for cowboying it, honestly. But I kind of think that they will. I don't think necessarily they could come out and win the division, but I think we're going to have a very similar year next year where everyone's kind of, right there. But then Washington's defense is really coming up. And so I don't know. I think right now top teams like in top would be, the Cowboys and Washington. I think Eagles are a disaster. I don't even know what's going on there. And the Giants just kind of get forgotten about. I don't necessarily think that Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback, but it definitely, when you look at the rest of the division, Dak looks so much stronger than he even really is. So I'm not saying he's overrated. I'm just saying that kind of is good for his stock.
Yeah, when you get to look around the NFC East, like, wow, this guy's
right?
the best one around. Like, how much are you saying there, though? It's like,
yeah.
I saw this coming. Our resident Eagles fan, wrong name spelled, Dullen. No, she didn't. Sometimes the truth just needs to be said, man. Sometimes I'm sorry, but we like to spit facts. And don't apologize to him. He's fine. Don't worry about it. So go with the Saints real quick. They signed Jameis Winston 1 year, $12 million. And they also gave Taysom Hill this very weird 4-year, $140 million deal that can be terminated virtually whenever they want. It's just very weird. Drew Brees finally retired. God bless his soul. We all knew it was coming. Like, have a happy retirement. Go to CBS Sports. Have a blast. Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill are going to battle it out. Are either of them the right answer?
No.
Yeah, okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
I don't know why they signed them both, honestly. I think Jameis Winston needs to go play receiver or something. I don't know. I'm just not. I don't think he has a future really as a starter anywhere else. I think, his time. I know he's still very young, but very young in my head, but not football wise. But no. I think they'll either get somebody in the draft or they'll make some surprise crazy trade. But no, absolutely neither of them are the right answer. And that's the one reason I kind of had thought Drew Brees was coming back. Not necessarily just that, but because I'd seen the video, that came out of him pushing the sled and, he went crazy on it and ran into the street and people were like, his trainer was saying something's brewing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, maybe he is coming back. And that was like a week and a half ago or something. Yeah. So I thought maybe he was like 1 more year. And that's the only reason I was kind of shocked when he decided to hang it up. But I think it was a good call. And, I think the only one kind of looking stupid sitting out there right now is Big Ben. So, but no, I don't think either of them are the answer for the Saints' problems.
Yeah, sources close to me, which just means I watched the Dan Patrick Show, basically said he was retiring no matter what. He said after that sled video came out, it's like, that's just smoke and mirrors right there. He's retiring. So it didn't really shock me too much, but the sled thing was kind of funny. He's just trolling some people, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Taysom Hill, really? $140 million? Like, what are we doing here? What are the Saints doing?
Who knows what they're doing? That is the fluffiest contract that I have seen ever, because it can be terminated literally at the snap of a finger. The Saints can be like, okay, bye. And I'm really surprised that they're even entertaining the idea of, signing him for that long. We saw him when Drew Brees was out, and this team goes from a high-powered offense to a run the ball constantly, ground and pound, little play action here and there, and like super low scoring. And that's not how you're going to win games in the NFL, especially in the NFC South. With the Bucs defense, the Panthers are a young team growing. Who know? Well, I don't really know what the Falcons are doing, but hopefully they'll make some moves in the next day or so. But for the Saints to be, it feels like they've been like the cream of the crop for so long. Like every year, the Saints are always in it because they've had this high-powered offense. And then we see Taysom Hill for a few weeks, and we're like, are we sure this is the same Saints team? Because that's not the Saints I usually expect. So, yeah, the Taysom Hill contract, they just have something for Taysom Hill, and I don't know what it is. But the fluff of the contract really makes me think that they're starting to lose their faith in him a little. Like it's like they like him, but then they've seen the issues they've had with him on the field, just in productivity, and I think they had to sign Winston by default when keeping Hill. Would not be surprised if the Saints are another team that's drafting a quarterback this year. I can't think of any free agent quarterbacks right now off the top of my head that are still out there that haven't been signed.
There's not a lot.
There's really not a lot from
really
what
deserve
I've seen.
attention.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's the Saints are they're trying to get by right now, and I'm curious what they do in the next month or so with the draft coming up.
I'd just like to divert everyone's attention to that Denver Broncos game with the Saints with Taysom Hill and then whoever that other guy was. I feel so bad for poor guy. Threw more interceptions than he did complete passes. Poor guy. I just had one fun question here. I say fun because this is fun. I don't know. Just a question. What was more surprising move from the Packers? Re-signing Aaron Jones or not re-signing Corey Linsley?
I thought. Well, okay. I was a little bit confused because I thought Aaron Jones was not staying. I was shocked they were okay giving up Corey Linsley. Like, he's absolutely the best center in the league, and I was shocked. I am so happy about it. That was like the best thing the Chargers could have done. We have not had a strong, healthy center since Nick Hardwick, who left in 2014 when the team was in a different city. And, having Mike Pouncey was nice, but he was always injured. And so we never had any stability there. And, look what Philip Rivers was able to go and do in Indy when he, had some help, had some protection. So I'm so pumped about that. But I would say, I'm so pumped. And so I don't understand what Green Bay was thinking with that. But, I'm not complaining. I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I just realized now that question became even better with the Chargers fandom. Yeah, that's great over there. Mm-hmm. Giving Justin Herbert some heft in front. That's got to be so reassuring for Justin Herbert too. Mm-hmm. Just he's going to be taking snaps from a future Hall of Fame center.
Right.
Man, that's got to feel good. And then the Aaron Jones thing, I don't know. We saw A.J. Dillon in limited snaps. He looked pretty good. You saw Jamal Williams, who was very serviceable. Then you're going to go and hand Aaron Jones $48 million. Both of them were very weird decisions, and it just keeps showing us that the Packers front office doesn't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't think we'll see a ton of changes, but I think I'm really not sure what's going on there. There's been so much in my – I really thought that J.J. Watt was going to go to Green Bay. So I just feel like everything that I think is going to happen in Green Bay, I'm completely wrong again right now. It's like a Patriots situation. So I think everyone was confused when Watt signed to Arizona, but I really thought he was going to Green Bay. I was like, you want to win a title, so what?
Poor guy. Hey, no, he's got a. Oh man, I can't even say he has a chance because they're in the NFC West. The Cardinals look so good.
It's not they're their defense is going to be amazing. Kyler Murray's on his way up, and but they're in a bad division, you know? I mean, sorry, a great division. That's what I meant. So it's not like they're in a bad division, and, you know, I mean,
like 11-5 might not even get you a wild card spot at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a toughie. I'm with you. Seahawks are probably sitting at the bottom of the barrel in that one anyways.
Yeah, honestly.
And then I guess my last football related question. The Bucks are just doing kind of like what the Patriots were doing, but with better players. They're somehow staying intact after a Super Bowl win. I don't know how they're doing it.
I know they wanted to make that happen, but I'm very shocked. I think the only has Leonard Fournette gone anywhere?
He's going to, for sure.
I haven't missed anything.
He's definitely going to be casualty number one, I'd guess.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the first big one they really but otherwise, yeah, I think it's incredible. And I think, you know, initially I was a little bit hesitant, wondering if they would run it back next year. But now, honestly, I mean, I think they'll just be even more dangerous because the fact they were able to get it together and somehow look better later in the season and in such a off year, you know, Tom Brady just finds a way to win. He just does. And I think like all of the pieces, everything, all of the signs are pointing towards that, that he's been able to retain these guys, which is not surprising, but it's a little bit surprising in the sense that, okay, now some of these guys, you know, got their Super Bowl victory. You can ride out into the sunset if you're trying to do something like if you've been hanging on trying to finish your career, but that's not the case. They all want to come out and try and repeat. So we'll see. But I am shocked with how many guys they've kept together. It's pretty impressive.
I think they started, I feel like the magic number was somewhere around 23 free agents going into this offseason. And there will be more casualties as we go along. We're very early in the process, but extending Tom Brady, getting Gronk, Shaq Barrett, and Levante David all back, tagging Chris Godwin. Those are 5 major pieces.
Yep.
If you lose Leonard Fournette, I'm sure you'll survive. You can bring someone else in to run behind that offensive line. They're going to be great.
Absolutely.
Are they? It's super early, and this is just kind of for fun. Are they your Super Bowl favorites for 2021 season?
I mean, honestly, I guess kind of. I was initially thinking, well, you know, maybe Aaron will have another great MVP year, and the Packers will actually make it. But since I really don't know what's going on in the office over there, I really don't even know if they'll have as decent of a year. So I kind of think like with this free agency chaos that all of a sudden the Bucs are looking better and edging out Green Bay every hour, it feels like. So, yeah, I think I would say that. I think, you know, it's like this year, obviously the NFC I feel like was a little bit more fun to watch. And next year, I think a lot more young quarterbacks in the AFC are going to be very, very competitive. So I think we'll see like another, you know, maybe it's Josh Allen. Maybe it's, you know, another young guy who takes an AFC team to the Super Bowl. Obviously, I'd like
Justin Herbert.
But even like Baker Mayfield or something, you know, I would not be surprised if the Cleveland Browns do the same thing. So yeah, I guess most in the NFC, absolutely. But yeah, I think ask me when the draft rolls around. I'll have a little bit more of a, you know, a stronger opinion at that point.
Yeah, Jacksonville's up and coming. You never know. No, I'm just kidding.
I always say that to people. I'm like, don't discount them. I know they've been bad so many times, but look, they went to the AFC Championship in, 2017 with Blake Bortles.
Mm-hmm.
So I, the idiot, I remember when he was first drafted, because I thought I didn't think he was going to be like crazy Hall of Famer, but I thought he was going to be great. I thought, you know, coming out of UCF, he had a great year. And so I told like everyone at my work, you know, it was one of my first stations I worked at. And I was like, yeah, you know, put him on your fantasy team. He's going to be great. No one's going to want him. So you should definitely, you know, oh my God, that was horrible advice. And
everyone's got to sit on one bad take eventually.
Totally. Oh my gosh. And what a bad take. But my point being that Jacksonville's always that franchise that kind of sneaks out of nowhere. They fall really fast and they rise really fast. So I would not be surprised. And especially if they get Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer is able to kind of prove a lot of the haters wrong. I'm excited to watch things happen over there. I think Jacksonville's going to be decent. I don't know if necessarily they'll, be fighting for a Super Bowl, but I don't just assume they're going to, be the same old Jacksonville Jaguars. Basically, that's my take on that. So,
well, they're taking all the Seahawks players, so if you take that with a grain of salt, maybe that means something. But all right, so we have one last question. This is the most important question of the night, obviously. Like, we always save the best for last. We've asked every single guest this year this question. We have asked ESPN reporters and radio show hosts. We've asked former NFL players. We asked Lois this last week. Everyone's been asked this question: cake or pie?
This isn't like an inside joke or something. This is a real question.
Oh, this is a real question.
Mm-hmm.
This is dead serious. Yeah.
Okay. I would say pie, but if I can, I'm more of a cupcake or like donut. I love like a really good donut. So cake and pie are both just to me. Okay. Like a donut or a cookie. Yeah. So I just,
So we got like a answer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's the first time we've gotten an answer like that. Spiced up a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've had some very, people have been like very hardcore, like, oh, pie. And Lois last week was a hardcore cake person. So cookies. So you like the handheld stuff, easier to eat. Just grab a cookie, dunk it in some milk, and grab a cupcake. Definitely. Nice, easy peasy.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, like a good monster cookie. Oh my gosh, or like a really good brownie.
Oh.
So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, we can't thank you enough. We've taken up enough of your time this evening. We a billion times over. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Our boys at Strikeout Beer did want to mention that they love your setup in the back. That's
thank you.
Epic background.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's I'm just getting organized in here. You can't see the mess, so that's good.
We'll always see is the epicness. That's all we see. So it's perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Well, we hope you had some fun. If you want to let people know again wherever to find you, go for it.
Yeah, you could just search Bridget Case anywhere on social media. I'm mostly on TikTok and Twitch, and then my podcast name After Orange Slices is the name of my Instagram. My podcast returns later in this spring. So, but yeah, I'm on TikTok all the time and Twitch now. So yeah, just search my name wherever you're on your phone.
And we'll be sure to make it easy for them too. We'll throw it in the episode description. Yeah. Easy peasy. We make it easy.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Have a fantastic evening, and thank you again.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
I always forget to fix that. I looked up. I was like, why is there 3 boxes? Hey, Josh, what's going on, man? Welcome to the program. That was great.
That was great.
Another excellent on and off the field guest interview session thing. And we always give all of our credit to the guest.
Mm-hmm.
We're just 2 idiots up here rumbling and bumbling and just they're the ones who make it what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Love the glasses. I got a glare and I literally can't fix it. I don't know how to, so it's just something we're gonna have to deal with. But these are blue light blocking glasses, and if anybody is like getting headaches when they're on screens, like I was getting headaches every day for a while, and I was like, I gotta try something. I bought blue light blocking glasses. These things work. These things work, folks. This is not like a trend. They work. So
they're actually useful.
Yeah, they actually do work. So just so you know. So that was interesting. We didn't get a cake and pie answer. So we're gonna have to like throw up a
interesting.
Yeah, I have to go back and get a tally. But we're gonna have to do like, let's say it's like 7-2 and 1. like other.
Oh.
I like a good cookie and brownie too. But sometimes, like,
Yeah.
if someone's going to offer me any kind of dessert that I want right now in this moment, it's going to be some kind of pie. Just something about pie, just so good. Just a nice silky chocolate pie, something like that.
There you go.
Nothing beats it in my mind.
Well, it was just Pie Day on Sunday.
Was it? Oh, that's right. 3/14.
Yeah.
I didn't see one post about Pie Day.
I
didn't even know it happened, to be honest. And then the other day was Mario Day. That was the 10th, right?
Yep.
Because it's 3/10 air.
But well, if you do March shorthanded is MAR.
March.
And then March 10th, so MAR 10 makes Mario.
I was trying to figure out why it was Mario Day. I forgot. Like, did they turn the 3 upside down? Is that why it's Mario? No, March. Okay. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, is there any free agency that we missed? I mean, we can cover. Let's cover our teams real quick. Let me scroll down to the bottom of this, and let's look at the Seattle Seahawks free agent moves. Oh, it's blank. Perfect.
Oh, well, actually.
Oh.
Breaking news from Adam Schefter about a half hour ago has. Ooh, it's got another one. Seahawks are working to finalize a 2-year deal with defensive tackle Puna Ford.
I don't care about that.
Okay, but we just got breaking news. The Bills are trading tight end Lee Smith to the Falcons
for a 2022 late round pick.
So that's basically just them to get rid of him.
Yeah, that you really a 2022 late round pick. That's a next year late round pick.
Yeah, and I am 100% fine with that.
Yeah, Lee Smith
it was about time he had to go.
He was an odd character. Like, he didn't fit anywhere on the field. He kind of just looked like he should be on the offensive line, but then he's out there like he catches a football downfield, and you're like, wait, the offensive lineman can't be that far downfield. Oh wait, that's Lee. That's Lee Smith.
Yeah,
dude was a big boy. TJ with the meat pie, pot pie. Oh,
Ooh.
Do they make a beer pie? I mean, you can make a meat pie with Guinness Stout in the gravy.
Oh,
that's a thing. So that's kind of a beer pie. What's up, Brandon?
Interesting.
How you doing, man? How's that new Fortnite update? Fortnite's new season came out today.
Oh yeah,
it's a big deal in the gaming community. Besides that, I mean, the Bills got Darrell Williams on a 3-year contract.
Yep.
They re-signed John Feliciano.
Yep.
They got Matt Milano back. That was a big deal.
Yep.
And then they also got punter Matt Hack from the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, he was a former Dolphin. I was a little surprised with that one because I didn't hate Corey Bjorquez, who was the current punter. I thought he played pretty well. I thought he had a couple like amazing punts last year. But this is what the Bills typically do. They try to keep it fresh in that punter kicker area. They like to give their current guys, some competition to, that way they don't get, too relaxed about it. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens there. But I do have some rumor news here that the Bills are actually in serious talks with Emmanuel Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Very interesting. That would be a great addition.
Yeah. So
I'm a big fan of the old Sanders.
I'm on board with that one. I'm curious if they'll do it. They, from a roster standpoint, they really have kept just about everyone I think they needed to. I really would think, I'm curious if they'll try to keep Levi Wallace. I know there's been talks and things have kind of been iffy. Back and forth between those two, but we'll see.
Brandon thought Emmanuel Sanders already signed somewhere. He's just been released from the Saints a couple days ago. He has not signed anywhere yet.
Correct.
I'll never. I think last year's season was kind of a wash for the 49ers regardless, But I'll still go to the grave saying, man, they should have re-signed Emmanuel Sanders for the 49ers. That was just a huge mistake. Because even though people started going down with injuries left and right, Sanders could have been one of the guys that went down with an injury. Who knows? But he just brought a veteran presence to their receiving core that was super young.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
everyone
definitely.
was a rookie or a second-year player. Like that's hard to work with unless you have some super mature guy, which they really didn't have. They had, I think Deebo Samuel is really their leader. It's not saying much. I mean, what is there anything else before we end the show? Anything that like we're missing? That's like a really shocking, something that just blew the doors off of free agency that we haven't really covered. Because I know the Titans signed Bud Dupree from the Steelers, so Bud Dupree will not be a Steeler moving forward. That was a little shocking.
That was a little shocking there.
The Steelers cap space situation, they didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, they were handcuffed on that one. They kind of had to let him walk. So that kind of it is what it is there. And obviously the Steelers are signing some offensive linemen. You got to help Big Ben stay a little upright this year. Fingers crossed his last year because he's just got to go. He's had his time. It's time for him to retire. But I'll let him play this year and we'll see what happens. I think the only other one that I really saw recently that kind of surprised me a little bit was the Andy Dullen signing with the Bears. It's not a great. It's an okay signing for the Bears. Obviously, they're letting Trubisky walk, and they have Nick Foles there. I don't know. I just feel like the Bears, they couldn't have found somebody else. They couldn't
like
have been
we said earlier. I mean, there's not many people out there for like free agent quarterbacks unless you're going to try and get some other kind of a trade done.
Right.
But I don't understand why you just don't go the draft route. Like if you were about to give up your entire draft just to get Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, just give up your draft to move up and grab a rookie.
Right.
Like why? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're ready to give up 3 years of first round draft picks up, why not just give up this year's first round draft pick, next year's first round draft pick, and a couple other picks in this draft or the like later round picks, and just move up this year and get your rookie that you want? Because they went to the playoffs, right? Like they don't have a great draft pick this year. They're like not even in the top 15.
Right. Yeah.
So they need to move up.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand why they didn't do that. Maybe they still do it. I don't know, because like you said, they're not going to have Trubisky there. They have Nick Foles. They have Andy Dalton now. Maybe they still do grab a rookie. But if you're ready to go all out for a vet, why not go all out for a rookie?
Right. Like the team is, I mean, they handcuffed Allen Robinson to the team with a franchise tag. So they kind of need to get something done, because if they just like flop again this year, they didn't really flop terribly last year, but they weren't great. And if they just like all out flop this year, Allen Robinson's not signing a single thing with that team anymore. He's going to get out of there next year.
Hashtag holdout.
That very well too. Yes.
I'm fully convinced the only reason they franchise tag Allen Robinson was to try and attract Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. That was the only reason they kept him. I'm very convinced of that. If right now, knowing they couldn't get either one, if they chose right now, they wouldn't tag him. Right. That's the only reason they did it.
Yep.
TJ says the Cowboy. He's calling it right now. The Cowboy Super Bowl champs 2067. All right, we'll mark you down. We'll put it up somewhere. I'll make a note of that. We'll see what happens. I might be dead by then. I don't know. See what happens. Life is short, folks. Enjoy it while you have it. I think that's the show, though. We had a good show.
Yeah.
We're going to get out of here. We got other things to do with our lives. We're trying, we're talking about reorganizing the show so we can go longer these days, but things have come up in life where they're hour shows right now. So if we might be moving the show up, we're talking about things, whether we do them or not, but just know for now they're going to be 1 hour shows. On a good week, maybe hour and a half. We'll see what happens. So just stay tuned. Make sure you're following On and Off the Field, social media at OOTF Podcast, Notoriety Sports Network. Just make sure you're flossing. and you'll make sure you're up to date on everything. So, and tomorrow starts the official free agency grind.
Starts the new year. Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. Football's back, baby. But football's back in the NFL, but make sure, we got the Women's Football Alliance too.
Yeah.
I hope to report a little bit on that. I have to start digging into when the season actually starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to keep up with it.
There you go. That'd be good.
It's a goal of mine. So make sure you're following on social media for those Women's Football Alliance updates. All righty. Well, we're going to get out of here, but you can guarantee that we will be back next week because
Mama didn't raise no wussies.